So if you're ready, you could open up your cameras and your videos and your sound. Just gonna refresh this. Perfect, Edwin.
Okay.
Randy must be doing his magic on the back end, sharing. Are ready? You could open up your cameras and your videos and your sound. Just gonna refresh this. Perfect, Edwin. Randy must be doing his magic on the back end, sharing. Ready? You can open up your cameras and your videos and your sounds. Refresh this. Perfect, Edwin. I don't know what's going on. How come?
Yeah, everything seems a little delayed.
Open up your cameras and your videos and your sounds. Refresh this. Perfect. I don't know what's going on. How come?
Yeah, everything seems a little delayed.
Open up your cameras and your videos and your sounds. Refresh this. Perfect. I don't know what's going on. How come?
Yeah, everything seems a little delayed.
Open up your cameras and your videos and your sounds. Refresh this. Perfect. I don't know what's going on. How come?
Yeah, everything seems a little delayed.
And it, you know what? I shut on mine. Maybe one of you have the YouTube video open.
No, I didn't.
That's okay. So maybe one of you have the YouTube video open. Because I shut all of mine and I deleted it from the chat because I just wanted to make sure we were clear. Yes, that's perfect. We're better. Okay, it's okay. Everybody good?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Edwin, you can come back on.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back on, but I'm having trouble getting
Your
back
time.
on.
Take your time. When you come on, you'll come on. That's okay.
Let's see what's going on.
So we're going to begin the show, but don't worry, Edwin. We're not
Okay.
going anywhere until you get on. What you need to, why don't you turn your camera the other way? Because when you turned it the other way, it was easier for you to hop. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So, and we clip all this when we do the actual rewind. So
Yeah,
no
I don't
problem.
see much. Oh, there. Okay.
Oh, you're there. You're there.
All right.
Welcome to RenéMarie Stroke of Luck. Once again, we had some technical difficulties when we begin, but we're live, so there's no problem. This is really, the show is called Family Affair because we all go back so many years to the Madhouse TV and Huntington, what was it, Village Connection studios. We all have a passion for entertainment and for podcasts and just for books and authors and movies, and just it goes on and on. So this is really a very meaningful show, as was the first one, but this one is a family affair as well. So was the first one, now that I'm thinking about it. Edwin has really accomplished so much in his life. Brownsville Breed, I believe. Brownsville Breed is the
Bread.
Bread. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Bread is the name of the movie where his music is just touching the world right now. I'm going to let him feed into that a little bit. Edwin is really a wonderful, heartfelt, deep really, really meaningful conversations we've had. And I just can't wait to hear his journey to this. And then, of course, we have Randy, who is a movie critic, who was from Madhouse TV, and really does still has a podcast, which we want to hear about. We're so excited about this show. And then, of course, Evan, who he Evan's the biggest thing that I remember about Evan was his passion for wrestling and writing his book about wrestling. And I believe he just published his second book, if I'm not mistaken, which he's going to feed into and share a little bit about. But this is really a meaningful show to me, because not only because of our guests, but I have in my life for so many years tried to get to the point where I finished my extra inning book, which is my really my story in full from childhood to now. And really my main vision was that this is going to become a movie someday. And I on my if you go to my website, RenéMarie Productions, you'll see that I have the vision there. I have it there, and I have all the photos and everything that I really want to bring together. So this movie just keeps me on this show just keeps me on track to try to feed my soul about keeping in tune with that. And 2026 is going to be the year that I finish the book, and then we begin to work on the movie. And I'm like, I get chills when I think about it, because I think, and Edwin and I have spoken about this many times, that my story can tell a difference. Each person's story can tell a difference in their lives. So it's really wonderful. Welcome to all of you. I'm so happy that you all took the time on a Sunday morning to be here. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're gonna begin with Edwin. Edwin,
Okay.
tell us a little bit about, first of all, I want to start out with tell us a little bit about yourselves. Okay, well, of each one of you, I know you, but our audience doesn't. So tell us a little bit about your story up until this point, and then we'll get into the actual books and podcasts and the movie story. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Edwin.
Okay, sure. My name is Edwin Vasquez. I was proud Puerto Rican from Santurce, Puerto Rico, and New York raised, Brooklyn. Well, I'm a singer-songwriter, guitarist, and I'm dabbling in the acting world a little bit.
Which we saw you in that movie.
Yeah, it was fun. It's a really interesting experience. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, and then I did the on-set music directing for the movie as well, which was also interesting to work with Javier Munoz, from Hamilton.
Right.
That was an interesting thing for me, challenging, scary, because when it was introduced to me, the idea of doing that, I was like, I've never done that before, so I didn't even know what that meant. But that's the way the business works, you throw yourself into it. As far as the movie goes, me and Elaine Del Valle, the director of the movie, we were interviewed some years back on Latino Media Salon show, and that was with Luis Perega. Luis, we call him Tío Luis. So that's how we met. I'd given her my music. She listened to it, and maybe like a year and a half later, she introduced the idea of having my songs in her movie. Started out with Querida, the song No Has Cambiado, and then it went to a few songs on the Faith album. Then after, we added the other songs. But that journey was it was a journey that took place back in 2021, 22 around there. It was a long one, and a lot of ideas changed in between, and a lot of adjustments were made as far as what you planned for the movie. And just so much to say about it, It was a huge experience in my life, but uh, yeah, it was just to me it was just a serendipitous thing meeting her, and the music fitting hand and glove. The movie itself was it just seemed like it was meant to be.
Mm,
As corny as that may sound, but because it just everything just coincided, worked very well together.
yeah.
The songs and all, but and I was, of course, it was my first time doing that time. I've done movies before, but not to that capacity.
Mm.
So it was exciting altogether. So much to say, so I don't know necessarily where to go.
That's okay. That's okay. But we do want to hear, what have you been doing up until this? I know you're an actor, but then I know you play a lot. You speak through your music, and you're in different areas to perform. And I know you're an artist as well, right? You're
Yeah, I'm
an
also a
artist,
painter. Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
And you said you're an actor. So I mean, we
yeah.
just
I'm
wanted a
trying to
little.
be one.
And you live in New York, am I correct? You
I'm
get
in Brooklyn. Yeah, Park
Yeah,
Slope, Brooklyn.
yeah. So that's wonderful how it tied into the movie as well. Is you actually understood the culture that is in that movie.
Yeah, yeah. I could say something about that. Manny, Elaine's father. You guys saw the movie, right? So
Yeah,
he was a musician himself, a singer. And
yep. He
he
loved. He
was
had a
all,
passion for salsa. They said.
yeah, yeah. He had a passion for salsa, and it definitely had a lot to do with the beginnings of what it meant to be a Puerto Rican back in the 70s and 80s. And you get to see a little bit of that in the movie itself and what that experience was all about. But yeah, he was an overall musician, and artist. So I think Elaine recognized that in us. We even our characters were the same. She even considered having me be the lead actor, play
Mm,
Javier. But I'm glad she picked Javier because Javier. I
Mm.
mean, first of all, I don't have that type of experience, and you need someone like that. And on top of the fact that he's a well-known personality, in the world, and as far as musicals and everything, he's super talented. So he was the right person for it. He did such an incredible job.
that's so good, Edwin. We can't wait to hear more about your journey in the going through it, and talk more about the movie that we all watched. Evan, did you watch? I know Randy watched it. Did you get a chance to watch the movie as well?
Yes,
So we
yeah.
can really talk about the movie itself and the music and in a little
He,
bit. I do
he
want
gave
to
a great
give.
review, wonderful review, Evan.
Yeah,
Thank you.
My
oh,
pleasure.
Yeah,
It was deeply moving, Brownsville bred. I sat in the theater and I looked around and everybody was crying. And it was a scene where they were playing Edwin's music. I mean,
mhm.
it was very moving. And it's a true story. Family living in Brooklyn, but originally from Puerto Rico. And it goes back and forth, Brooklyn and Puerto Rico. And it's from the heart. It's from the heart. I recommend it to everybody. Brownsville bred. I'm not attached to it in any way. I'm just saying it's a
Yeah, yeah,
wonderful film, and it's on Amazon Prime and Apple TV, and it's actually on DVD. Library systems have it as well. So it's not hard to find. Brownsville bred. You'll be moved by it. I
yeah,
just sitting in that theater looking around me with tears streaming down people's cheeks, myself included.
hmm.
Just wonderful, wonderful film.
Thank
we're
you, Evan.
picking out pinpoint moments aside from the ending when Edwin's duet was playing, because that song touched my heart. The moment in the movie that really got me was when they were on the beach and they were dancing, and she finally opened up to her father,
Yeah, yeah.
and he touched her face and he said, don't let anybody steal your joy, something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. He did say that. Yeah,
don't ever let anybody say. And that just rang with me. That just
yeah,
rang with me, because in life, people try to steal your joy and try to shield you from and cover you with all that. So that moment did ring with me. Did
Can I
ring.
add something very quickly?
Sure, sure. It's an open conversation.
Elaine's project was a 20-year journey from book to stage to the screen. And as somebody who works in the film industry, it is not easy raising money and getting a project off the ground. And to put 20 years into something and then have it work. I mean, it's beautiful and it has great word of mouth, great reviews. And I recommend it to anybody. You know, it's just very human. It's a beautiful film. Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's what moved me. It's what got me really. She just saw what got me about Elaine is that she just saw the whole picture and how the songs, all of the songs that she selected, how she made them fit because it's not a musical, it's a movie, but she gave it that sort of that feel, that musical as far as feel because she had Javier sang Querida, that scene at the table,
Mhm.
at the dining table, was Querida. And then the scene that you're talking about, Renee, that the song that's playing out of the radio is Puerto Rico Estamos Contigo. So that
Mm.
was a smart way to include the songs, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
She always found a way. Has Cambiado was in the school walking. Very short little parts of the songs, but except for the exception of Semilla de Fe, which was the church scene, the whole song, which was a tearjerker, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
But I just thought it was ingenious of her to see how she could make it fit within the movie. I thought that was a pretty interesting approach, because again, it's not one of the musical type of film, but she's
but
made it work.
music is, I mean, in my movie as well. Music is important aspect of it because it's how I speak, how I speak clearly,
Yeah,
so it's an important part of it. So I was so enthralled in the movie, so enthralled in the
I
movie.
enjoyed it.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, it was perfect. It was perfect.
yeah.
Randy, why don't you share your professional views, since we're to all putting our thoughts into.
Yeah. I mean, any good movie is, fueled by the performances, I'd say. And young Natalia Lares, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Lares, yeah, Natalia
She's
Lares.
the main lead here, young actress. She's got to be what, 13, 14.
She was good.
She holds her own,
Wow. Yeah.
very heavy material. We mentioned Javier Munoz, who's also brilliant. I love this actor. I don't know much about his filmography, but he's just so charismatic and great singer too. So anytime he's on screen, it's like electric. So
Yeah, I agree.
I
Just
loved his performance. Also, Karina Ortiz as the mom, also
yeah,
very good. Not a lot of screen time, but she did a good job too.
right.
Uh, I think Natalia, she deserves praise here, maybe like Best Young Artist Awards or something like that, because she definitely has a future ahead of her, a bright future. She's great. And, I have, both my parents are from Brooklyn. One of them is Puerto Rican. So this movie definitely resonated with me personally. And, some of it felt very authentic. Some of the scenes and moments I could definitely, look back on a little bit with my own family. So it's just, yeah, Evan, you said it's from the heart, and I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
And movies these days, a lot of movies these days are not from the heart. So it's just extremely refreshing to see a movie like Brownsville Bred because I mean, I loved it. It's one of the great last movies I've seen in recent times. And it is on Apple TV Plus, it is on Amazon Prime Video. So I recommend anyone go check it out. You don't even have to be Puerto Rican, you just have to be a human being to appreciate this
yeah,
story.
yeah,
I
You
yeah,
agree
know,
with you. I agree
and
with you.
um and Edwin, your music is just absolutely gorgeous, and it's
Thank you.
it's it's inserted in the right moments,
Yeah.
especially the end credits gave your music a time to flourish. So yeah, congratulations to you
Thank
on
you.
a great feat. This is a
Thank you.
great movie. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
And
is.
I'm a movie buff. I see tons and tons of movies. I thought it
Yeah.
was one of the best movies of 2025. And I'm not saying that just because Edwin's a friend. I
Right.
sincerely mean it. It was moving. The film
Yeah.
was
Thank
moving.
you.
I remember when the mom, when not the mom, the grandmother, when the mom calls the grandmother to come get the kids,
Mhm.
and the grandmother's saying, "I told you," like, and I could hear my grandmother, like, speaking in that same tone, saying, "I told you not to go with him. He's not a good guy." And the last one, do you remember? The scene I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
I could just hear my grandmother speaking, like, in that tone, Spanish
Yeah,
tones.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So it
Summer
was,
Castillo was amazing too. The little girl,
yes. Oh my God.
Summer Castillo. I mean, when we first started the movie, that obviously that was the beginning of everything. My witnessing what was the promise behind this movie. Because when you saw Summer do such a wonderful job, uh, it was just like you knew this was going to be a good one. And then I just Natalia was the icing on the cake. It was like, wow, I didn't think it could even grow more and more like that. It's just really Elaine was good for choosing the cast she chose. Everything just came together really well. And the timing of the movie. As a musician, I realized that acting and movies are very similar in regards to timing. When you're doing dialogue. Which Javier happens to have so on point with. Even his pauses every now and then. It was just like it felt so natural.
Mhm.
That's a
Right.
that's a whole different magic in itself. To capture that reality. So I mean, I guess I'm speaking from a guy who's exploring that world right now, the acting world, and fascinated by it. As a musician, I
You
could
learn,
see its relationship.
yeah. I mean, what
The
I
music.
learned from you, Edwin, in the music is, and it took me a long time to learn this, is is the sound between the notes, that there's you should pause, and that
Yeah,
you have to learn all that. You have to feel it. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
I I understand, you're looking at it like, you're learning, you're evolving,
yeah. It's very
and
much like
yeah,
music.
yeah,
It's timing. It's like
yeah,
we're conversing here, and then there's a short or a long awkwardness, that
yeah,
doesn't match. It
yeah,
creates awkwardness, right? So there's an emotion even in the silence between. There's
yeah,
something that's being conveyed. If you take too long, that hesitancy can communicate, what's going on here. So it plays a role, and music is the same way. It's not just what you're singing and playing. That space creates emotion. So what I'm learning with this is the similarity between acting and music itself. The timing, the melody,
the
how
rhythm.
the rhythm, all of that is just all part of it. And so it's just interesting to me because, I've always loved acting, but I never dived into it like that. So, yeah, it's a
But
learning
we
experience
see
for me.
we see you in the movie playing the guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny when you're on the set. It's like you really have to be like a kid in a way. Anthony Hopkins once said that. You have to play. You
Yeah,
can't think so much, and it's like that with every art form. You just got to be in it. If you're being too much the observer, analytical, then you lose the emotion behind it. You have to really be in it, in the scene itself, and play and not think about it too much. The same with a song. When you're over analyzing a song and you're singing it in the moment, you'll even forget the lyrics.
yeah,
So you have to allow it to just flow. And that's a hard place to get to. I think some even comedians, I think you guys would agree, your friends that might be funny in person, right? They're funny in person, but then when they take it to the stage, now they're performing, so it changes.
yeah,
It's not the same
yeah.
experience. you have to be able to bring that, and stay within that element.
I
So
think
yes,
what I've learned, is that it just comes with practice and trust in yourself, and just,
that's true.
like you're saying, just to let go. Once you've practiced, once you know your material, then I'm only speaking from a singing standpoint, because I have never been a good actress. I was always asked to be in plays when I was in high school, and I am not an actress. It's not in me. But give me a microphone to sing, it's a whole different story. But from a you just gotta rehearse, and you have to learn your part, and then you just need to let it go, like
Yeah, yeah.
Edwin says, to be able to sing. So it was God. We're so proud of you. We're so happy for you, because if there's anybody that has stayed true to themselves and invested in something, it's you, Edwin. So we're so happy for you. So
Well,
happy
I'm
for you.
proud to be among all of you here, because what I know is that what we do with meaning and significance and purpose.
Yeah.
Like I know Evan a long time. His work, first of all, his work is very moving in itself. His short stories and all that, they're beautiful. It's beautiful work, and that's the man you meet as well. He's a
Yeah.
genuine human being. And I'm not trying to be whatever, but it's just the truth. And I mean, at the end of the day, why do we do this, right?
Yeah.
What is this about, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really about putting out, like Randy was saying, we're human beings, aside from the whole race thing. It's about uh, making that human connection,
Mm.
connecting to each other. Yeah, that's why I view it anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I see
No,
it.
that's good. So, I mean, now you kind of opened the door, Edwin. Thank you so much. Evan and Randy. Evan, tell us a little bit about your books that you've published, and
Sure.
and tell us a little bit about, I mean, I know we know you, but just give us a little history about, what you've done.
For many, many years, decades, I've juggled three careers, one as a teacher, two as a filmmaker, three in the wrestling world as an agent and publicist. I've even gotten in the ring as a manager. Um, and last year I wrote a book called Wrestling Rings, Blackboards, and Movie Sets, and it's about juggling these three very different careers, and sometimes they collide. I was the associate producer on The Wrestler, and I acted with Mickey Rourke in there. And as Edwin says, when you're acting, you have to be in that moment. You can't be like overanalyzing it. It's an experience. We had 125 or so people on set. There's giant cameras in your face. And you have to make it look natural, not like you're memorizing lines or anything. And the,
Yeah.
the interesting part about that scenario was Darren Aronofsky, who's a brilliant, brilliant director. Um, he just got like a glint in his eye and he's like, Evan, come here. And I wasn't scheduled to act in this movie. He just got an idea. He tossed me into the scene. He said, just walk up to Mickey last, ask him for an autograph and a Polaroid. So Mickey whispers in my ear, just improv it. He thinks I'm an actor. I'm not an actor. So I'm improving this scene with Mickey,
It's
and
funny.
I'm thinking to myself, he's playing a wrestler, a wrestler at the end of his career, and I just said, what would I say to somebody like that? And I said, I loved you as a kid. I saw you at Madison Square Garden. Can I get your autograph? And suddenly he looks at me and he's improving. He goes, what's your name? So I'm thinking, and I just go, Evan, how surreal this is. I'm playing myself in a fictional movie. More surreal, he was
Yeah.
nominated for the Academy Award and he wins the Golden Globe. Okay. So
Wow.
Yeah.
my first time as an actor, I'm with this legendary performance that he's giving. And the beauty of films like The Wrestler and Brownsville Bred that are from the heart, 100 years from now, when we're all gone, people will watch Brownsville Bread and cry. And they'll
Mhm.
listen to Edwin's music 100
Yeah,
years from
that
now.
is a good
And
feeling.
they'll tell Elaine's story 100, 200 years from now. Because when you create art, not content, not schlock, when you create something truly worthwhile, it's a little piece of forever. And
Yeah, I
I
like
tell
that.
people when Mickey Rourke as Randy the Ram Robinson in The Restless says to his daughter, I'm just a broken down piece of meat. That's
Yeah,
an iconic line. That's
yeah,
like
yeah.
Brando and on the waterfront
Mhm.
going, I could have been a contender.
Mhm.
So
Yo, yeah, that's right.
it's
Yeah,
gonna be there forever. And
Mhm.
that's why you create art. And it, the misconception recently, Mickey Rourke was in the news because he was having some financial difficulties and such. Many times when you're doing independent films, nobody's getting rich from it. Mickey Rourke didn't get rich from The Wrestler. Marissa Tomei didn't get rich from it. None of us did. It was a small indie film. And similarly, Brownsville Bread. But when
yeah,
you create the vision that you want to create and it works, people will watch Brownsville Bread forever, forever. And that's the beauty of it. I mean that sincerely because
yeah,
to sit in a room full of people crying and after there was a Q&A and you could tell how touched these people were by
yeah,
Brownsville Bread. And I had a similar experience with The Wrestler. We're at the New York Film Festival, 2,300 people, Lincoln Center, sold out, $40 a ticket. And the scene where Mickey says that to his daughter, I'm just a broken down piece of meat. I looked around and everybody's crying, and I
yeah,
knew this film works. You can't fake that. You can't fake it. And that was
yeah,
7 years we put into that, 7 years off and on from start to finish. So,
One of the things that I find in a good movie is that you don't get tired of it. You don't think about how long it is. You just kind of like it just kind of flows, and that's what I found with this movie. Like I didn't like want to go get a cup of coffee, or like you
yeah.
wanted to stay engaged because it kept moving, and it kept like telling the story that you didn't want to miss one single moment of it because you wanted to see, and it kept twist and turn in it. So
yeah.
it was really put together very, very well, and it told the story from beginning to end. It was pretty incredible. It was pretty incredible.
Mhm.
Yep. So, Randy, let's hear your story, and
Sure, sure. So basically, it all started when I was 4 years old. I went to the movie theater to see Ghostbusters 2 with my parents, loved it. From that moment, I was hooked to all things cinema. And that kind of just evolved into me writing for my high school newspaper, then the college paper. And then I wrote freelance for a number of years for a couple of websites. And then I met Evan here in 2016, I believe it was. I was invited to do his show. Then I was invited to do a 10-minute segment every week, and that evolved into me having my own show on another network, Village Connection. And basically have been doing variations of that show ever since then. That was about 2016, 17. And now my show is on Slam Radio through SiriusXM.
wow.
And yeah, Manhattan Neighborhood
Congratulations.
Network. And it's been great. I review new movies, old movies. I do like retrospective screening reviews. I also talk about, actors and filmmakers who sadly have passed away. We just did a show on Catherine O'Hara, which was
Mm.
very, very nice, very uplifting. And yeah, in addition to the reviews, I also interview talent, so actors and filmmakers and composers. So I do that whenever I have free time. I'm also a corporate concierge full time in the city. So kind of, like Evan, I'm juggling a few things, and it's so far so good. Mhm.
So, Randy, I mean, you're gonna share a movie that we have to watch, and
Right.
we're gonna come back on.
Yeah.
But this movie is about a stroke, someone that suffered a stroke. So give us the movie that we need to watch and tell us a little bit of information on it. And I believe Evan saw it as well, so he could feed
Sure.
into it a little bit.
Yes. So this movie, this is my second time seeing it, but it's even more impactful and powerful the second time around. It's called The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, and it is a drama from 2007. It's an autobiographical film. It's based on the life of French editor of Elle, Jean-Dominique Bauby, who suffered a stroke and was basically put into lockdown syndrome, where he's essentially a prisoner to his own body, where he can't move
Mm,
any part of his body except for his eye and his eyelid. So basically, in the hospital, he communicates just by blinking, and
wow.
he's in a hospital in France. It's a French film, and he basically has a transcriber, a translator, sitting at his bed with a notepad, and she basically says the alphabet, and every time she gets to a letter and he blinks, that's the letter she writes down, and it's this painstaking
Wow.
process where he actually writes. He writes by just using his eyelid, and it's a crazy movie. It's directed by a great director, Julian Schnabel, excuse me. And the main performance is by a great actor. I'm going to butcher these names; they're French, but Matthew Amalric. He was actually the villain in one of the James Bond movies with Daniel Craig, Quantum of Solace, and he's great here. He plays the stroke victim who is communicating with his eye. It's heartbreaking, but it's beautiful. It's beautifully shot. Janusz Kaminski is the cinematographer here. He's probably most well known for his work with Steven Spielberg. He's done a lot of movies with him. I think he won the Oscar for Saving Private Ryan. And yeah, this movie is insane. And I recommend anyone who has been involved with a stroke or knows a family member or friend who has been afflicted by this, or even again, if you're a human being, it all comes back to that, to the basic nature of kindness. And this movie is just gorgeous. It's depressing, but it should be required viewing for anybody, I must say. It's called Diving Bell and the Butterfly, 2007.
Is it a
I
true
know.
movie, Randy? Is it
Yeah,
is a true movie?
based on real events,
Okay.
this editor of Elle magazine, he was
Okay.
basically, he was in lockdown syndrome, and then he passed a couple years after that. And yeah, I think the fact that it is a true story makes it even more
Hmm.
impactful. So yeah, this movie, I can't praise it enough. It's just that wonderful.
Where can we see? We're on Prime TV or
Yeah, so
or
I think
Prime
right now
Video,
the only place you can catch it is on Amazon Prime Video,
Amazon
available
Prime.
to rent or buy. So, but it's
Okay.
definitely worth it. I think it's like just $3 to rent, but um, yeah, it might be in the the library system as well, Evan. So that might be a good way to check it out too. But it's definitely worth your time, and it's not even 2 hours, so it's good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Evan, what's your input into that movie? I know you watched it as well.
I think when you could walk that fine line between incredibly sad and tragic, but also inspiring,
Mm.
never giving up hope. There's always somebody that has it better than you. There's always somebody that has it worse. This poor guy couldn't move. This
Right.
guy's communicating with his eyelids blinking.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get much tougher than that scenario, and it's autobiographical. I mean, so on the one hand, it's devastating to watch, but on the other hand, you're going, wow, whatever problems, whatever issues I have, they're minor in comparison. That's what you learn from a movie like this.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's a great film, great film, and You know, a lot of people, if it's a foreign film in a foreign language or it's subtitled, they're intimidated by it. Don't be. There's a lot of great films out there, world cinema, channels like Mubi, MUBI, and the Criterion Network have great films. For $10 a month, you could watch great films 24 hours a day. My new book's Grindhouse, Art House, and Wrestling Flicks, and some of the art house films that I review in there, you know, they'll just touch your soul. Like we were talking about Brownsville Bread for much of the show. There's a similar film called Once, which is about musicians, and it's not a musical. They're not singing and dancing, you know, down the street, but music is so
Prevalent.
integral to the film, and that film is beautiful, called Once. And every musician friend who I've ever recommended to who watched it, they come back to me and say I cried my eyes out because
Mm.
and let me add this.
Mhm.
It was shot on $125,000. It won Best Song at the Oscars the year it
Wow.
came out.
Wow.
The song was called Falling Slowly. Beautiful song by the Swell Season. And the actors were musicians, much like Edwin and some of the cast in Brownsville Bread. And at the Academy Award, Glenn Hansard and his partner in the movie, musicians turned actors, they said, quote, create art. Create art.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how far you could take it. This movie was shot on nothing, 125,000. That wouldn't be the food budget on a Marvel superhero movie. Okay, and they made a great film out of this. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Evan, I gotta say, you are just full of information and knowledge about the movie industry, because I remember last time that you were on our show, as soon as we closed out, you provided so much helpful resources to me and offered your help if I had any questions. So, I'm grateful to you, Edwin, Evan,
my
for,
pleasure.
yeah. I
But
mean,
you're doing great work also. I mean, your show, you know, with anything with medicine, science, people have to tap into the information, and not everybody is getting it. So shows like yours are very important because,
Yeah.
you know, just yesterday I was watching Bill Maher's show, and one of the guests had cancer, and she's saying, I have, because of her income, she has access to certain medicines that other people don't have. She has access to certain doctors that other people don't have. So information is power. So what you're doing is
thank you.
important,
Thank you.
really, sincerely.
Thank you. I'm very proud of the file that we have. We have 10 years of shows that we've done. And believe me, when I first began, it was nothing, I was learning, I'll never forget like how it began. I always tell the story where, we went to the Madhouse TV studio with Bobby Baby Walker.
Yeah,
And
I remember him.
and I was invited on to Tommy Marr's TV show, and from that I asked Tommy if he wanted to be the co-host, the master, the host of our show. Goes, and he didn't say no. He didn't say no. So I said, "Oh, you didn't say no? Like that's a possibility." So we met at their Madhouse TV studio, and I'm sitting there talking about the telethon, and Bobby Baby Walker's over here talking about just doing a show. I'm like, we don't have time to do a show, Bobby, and it just evolved, and Bobby got me into it. And this, the story is 10 years later, 11 years later, here I am. And I'm very proud of the files we have. We have so much important information that we could grab from. And what I really need to do is now take those files and clip them down to just minute or two of information to get people aware of strokes and aphasia and of faith. I always believe that we have to have faith in our lives. It doesn't matter what faith you are, but you have to have some sort of faith to get through things. And I really hope that, we bring hope to people, everybody out there. And I know that's what this movie that Edwin was in really the bottom line is to just bring hope to everybody that life, that we're there, that you have people that love you, and that, am I correct in my thought process, Edwin, about the actual philosophy of the movie? Was it to bring hope to everybody? What was the I mean, in the back, I mean, I know you've probably been in a lot of private conversations, and I'm not saying private as they can't be spoken about, but conversations with her name was Elaine, right? Not
Yeah,
Elaine.
Elaine Del Valle. Yeah, you're right.
Elaine, yeah,
Del Valle.
Elaine. I mean, how does she, I'm sure she's just flying right now because of the success of the movie, even though it
Yeah.
took 20 years to get there. But what were the conversations like with her, you know?
They were interesting because, she's, remember, this is about her dad. The story surrounds itself around her father. So I think the challenge from the very beginning is whether or not that could be depicted on film, her experience, and yeah, that was what she was so passionate about trying to get across, bringing her father. Like when we were in California for the premiere, one of the things that she said that touched my heart very deeply, because I was just, I'm the guy who creates created the songs and all that stuff, and had some songs from my old recording, but I don't have a face there really, Even the producer, Eddie Frente, was like, Edwin, go to California for you, just because no one's going to know you on the red carpet or anything, right? It was for you. And I was like, okay, yeah, I think that's first time experience for me, California. Check out a movie there that I'm a part of on the big screen. But Elaine had me play the guitar at the premiere
We saw it.
before, yeah. So that was my face. So after on the red carpet, I got to meet Edward James Olmos.
Hmm.
And I was on the red carpet, and he was being interviewed, obviously, because he's well known and everything. All the microphones were on him, the cameras, and I'm on the red carpet now. At least I have a face for what it's worth. I mean, it's about communicating what needs to be communicated, of course, but it's good to be acknowledged for your work, right? That's what we want to a certain extent,
Yeah.
because by being recognized, then we can transmit more work, get more work out there, because they know
Yeah.
whence it came. So I'm on the red carpet, and he actually points at me. But I didn't think it was me he was pointing to, And I'm like, he goes, "You," yeah. So he came and he met me. I went over to him actually, and I thanked him, of course, because he said that it should win an Oscar. He felt very strongly about it, and he said this in front of everyone, which was like, I don't, it was it's a pretty moving experience, because I'm just a guy from Park Slope, Brooklyn. I'm a singer songwriter, but that's a separate world.
But you're
And
not just Edwin. You're blossoming. You're gonna
yeah,
you're taking the steps to get to where you were meant to be, right? And that is in front of the camera, not behind the camera, in front of the camera. So that because you out of I no, I know you. So as people get to know you, they will see the truth and the intention and just the love poured out of you. And that comes through your music. That comes through your music
yeah.
and through your acting as well.
I
So,
appreciate it. What I mean is that like I'm not a known face. People
yeah,
don't know me really necessarily. So that just you, it's good to be recognized for the work we do. At the end of the
yes,
day, we want to know that we're making an impact, and that's an
yeah,
affirmation of
yeah.
that experience. And so when he approached me and he said that, and that was just something I took into my heart. I told Elaine about it, and she was very happy. Um, so yeah, obviously she was able to do the job, to make her father come alive on stage. And what I was saying about singing at the very beginning was that she turned to me because no one knew who I was. I could have been a hired guy just playing the guitar, right? Um, but she turned and she said, "My father lives because of this gentleman's music."
Mm.
And I was so moved by that because,
Wow.
I wasn't there like, expecting that, that's not what I was
Wow.
expecting.
That's powerful.
Can I just add something?
Sure.
Edwin did the soundtrack for the Cape Man with Paul Simon, Mark Anthony, Ruben Blades. He's very humble. This is the level of
Yeah.
musician that Edwin is, that he could hang with guys on that level, brilliant artist. And as a music buff, I've seen thousands upon thousands of concerts, the greatest performers in history, every possible genre. Edwin is a great, great artist,
Thank you,
and
Evan.
he should be doing more film scores because, man, you're more than qualified. You're
Thank
just
you.
very humble. I mean this sincerely.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
anybody watching this, from Edward James almost on down, Edwin can pull it off, as we see in Brownsville Bred.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
and God will take care of you, Edwin.
Yeah,
God
no,
will
I'm
take
great.
care.
I'm very grateful for everything, and I trust my journey is where it should be. Right now, I'm to a certain extent, I like Evan he's shown a lot of belief in what I'm doing, and where we've made plans to do bigger shows. My thing, I think one of my flaws is I'm quite a perfectionist, and I want everything to fall in its place sometimes. And if I don't see that package, it's sort of, there's a lot of hesitancy. I hesitate because I want to bring it to the audience the right way. But I'm going to start when I'm going to work my way up to that challenge that Evan put in front of me because I want to definitely do that. I think you have to leave a mark, and it requires sacrifice, just like with everything. But I wanted to ask you, Randy, as far
Yeah.
as the guy from the movie that you mentioned,
Yeah.
because I'm a big James Bond movie fan, and I love what's Daniel, was it Daniel Craig?
Daniel Craig. Yeah, he was in
Yeah,
it's the it's Quantum of Solace. It was the second
Quantum of
Daniel Craig.
Solace.
And
Yeah.
the actor who played the villain in that was in the Diving Bell and the Butterfly. His name is Matthew Amalric. He's a French actor. Very good.
Is it Mr. White in the movie?
I don't remember the names
Yeah,
of the characters, but yeah, he was just the main bad guy in that.
the main bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, and anyone, I also want to mention that after Brownsville Bred, I would love to see you act in a movie with Javier Munoz.
I would love that, man.
That would be so good because you're both
I would,
obviously very in tune with music.
yeah, yeah.
You've got good presence, and I think
Thanks.
like a cool cop comedy or something like that. That'd be
That
fun.
would be great, man. No,
Yeah.
you know what's cool, Randy, that when I first met, it was interesting. And I'm not sure if I'm accurate on this, but it's just a funny story. When I met, well, Elaine off the back told me that he played guitar, you
Hmm.
know? So I'm going on to the set. This was in the city, some high hotel. And we were like I'm supposed to teach him just the song, and it's a simple song. Querida was like four chords, the first part of it anyway.
Hmm.
And so I'm going to meet him, and Elaine's, let's say, here, and he's there. I'm here, right? And she's talking to me, he's back here. And you always like wonder, is it going to be difficult to work with this person? Whatnot, oh God, and I'm nervous already. This guy's from Hamilton. I'm like, oh God. And she's saying, okay, Edwin, we got to prepare for a scene, like 20 minutes you guys got. Give him the chords of the guitar. And he's looking at me, but doesn't really have much of an expression. He's just like
Hmm.
that. And I'm like, oh God, I hope everything's cool here. She introduces me to him. She leaves, and he goes, you got to help me. I don't play guitar really. So I had to find a way within the 20 minutes to get, but he's so talented. You know, we got the positioning in the movie. You'll see at the dining scene where he's at the table. His shoulder does this right before the song. And you guys are familiar with sets. Evan, you mentioned it earlier, right? You got all these cameras. So I'm looking through the cameras, man, for this cue because I'm in an awkward position looking at the cameras around him and I'm barely seeing him, but I need to see his hand movement and at least get that cue. So you'll see in the movie that he does this, girl, you know, and that's my cue to know the first beat, the first drum, you know, and then I have to follow this hand motion. It's me playing the guitar, but
Wow.
it looks so much like it's him because he's talented. You know, he knew like just when the chords are going to change, even if they're not accurate, he knew where to change them and stuff, you know. But yeah, we had a really good chemistry, him and I.
Yeah.
We understood each other very well. It was so good to work with him. And you know, and he shared that the feeling was mutual, which made me feel, of course, great. So I would love to work with him. I don't have his experience, but as a singer, you are performing, you are acting to a certain extent. You know, you have something to words to work with, and that you have to transmit to the audience. So, and I'm just fascinated with acting anyway, and voices and all that. So I would love for that to happen.
Yeah, do
But
it. I would love to see you guys on camera together. That'd be so
yeah,
cool.
do you write? Are you also, aside from that, a direct? I mean, did you direct or write
I've written a little bit, I've acted a little bit, but I'm mostly a film critic and a podcaster.
podcast?
I
Okay.
do have a short film script that's pretty much done. So maybe there's something in there for you, sir.
No, I would love that. I would love
Yeah,
to give that a try. Yeah.
yeah.
And maybe I think, have you reached out to Javier as far as maybe interviewing
No,
him?
no. I mean, I would love to interview him.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome. So yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. He's really cool.
Yeah,
So yeah,
nice.
I'm
We'll
just
talk.
staying out of it to let you put it out in the universe so we
Yes.
can manifest it.
yeah, yeah.
So, well,
And we got the Indiana Jones of that's what I call him, Evan,
yeah, yeah.
because he has all these lives. You know, I always tell the students, I joke around about that. You
I
know,
saw I saw you guys. I think Ed, when you performed at an event for you, Evan, I just saw it on Facebook. When
Yeah,
my
we have these big intern parties, and
so
Edwin
much fun.
comes, and we have a blast. And
Yeah,
since we're on that subject, I teach adult English second language, and let me just add this: human beings are not illegal. Okay, what's
yeah,
going on now is horrific, and you know, having mask guys nab the woman selling tamales, on a train station platform is not going to cure the crime problem. This is just a hardworking, honest person trying to support her family. So, as an English second language teacher who's also married to an immigrant, this is
yeah.
a message I try to get out as well. Yeah, it's tough times we're in, tough times.
I
It's a
just
good message because
yeah.
I saw the decline in the class. You know, Renee, as far as a lot
Attendance
of
wise, yeah.
attendance wise.
Well, they're
And
probably
it's
afraid to come out, and
yeah, no, that's yeah,
my you all know this better than anybody. My philosophy is just to spread the love and to just, to share love, be love, and everything else is just, it's sad. It's sad. I
this
just,
is real. This is real because it could be any one of us. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
as a Puerto Rican, our agreement with the United States it's an alliance. So if at any point anyone decided, well, you guys are no longer American citizens, I'm out of here. Next thing you know, ICE will be looking for me. Um, what I like about your show, Renee, is that it's true. You represent, and I love what Randy said also about as far as humanity, being one race. That's what we are, man. You know, under God, under whatever you believe in, under love.
Yep.
So it's important, you know. I'm glad you brought that up, Evan, because it's true. That's something that needs to be addressed, man.
Yeah.
And this is where we do it. This is how we
Yeah.
do it, you know, as artists and on these shows. So I'm glad you brought that up. I have so many friends that are being affected by this too. It's
And the misconception is, you know, hordes coming in from the border, okay, but many people have visas, and on Monday you're legal, and on Tuesday the visa runs out, and you're torn between two countries. You have friends and family in two different countries. You know, it's a piece of paper. It's yeah, it's horrible what's going
it's the
on.
brutality, right, Evan? It's the
Yeah.
brutality behind it that's even just makes it worse, you know. I understand sometimes that we have to, whatever, you know, have some kind of balance, but we just the way it's even being approached, you know, and then innocent people, it's unnecessary.
I mean, you could toss out all the violent criminals you want. I have no problem with that. But, you know, it's just some hardworking, honest person.
Yeah,
The entire U.S. economy would collapse without the undocumented. These are the kitchen workers. These are the people taking care of the rich people's kids, etc., so on. You know, it keeps the economy afloat, and they pay billions of dollars in taxes every time they walk into a store or whatnot. These are all misconceptions. People don't realize just how much they contribute. The spin is, you know, that they're violent criminals. That's a small percentage,
yeah,
like any demographic.
Hmm.
yeah. The infrastructure of this country is based on what we call immigrants. You know, this is a. It's all about diversity. I mean, what is an American anyway? What is an American?
My grandparents came from Germany, Poland, and Russia, and many
Yeah,
times it was because there were pogroms against the Jewish people. You know, they killed 40 of my relatives in World War II. Killed. Okay. So, you know, people come here for a reason. They're not all criminals. It's
yeah.
absurd.
Yeah, we have to be careful. You know? Starting to feel like Gestapo. You know, you know what I
It's
mean?
sad. It's
Yeah.
sad. But we have to, go back
Yeah,
to what
yeah,
the
yeah. Sorry.
movie. No, 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 no. We've actually run 5 minutes over, which doesn't matter to me because, we have nothing on afterwards. But I just want to, hope, hope that things will get better. Hope that
Yeah,
we can spread the love, and you know it's so important. We're all people. I don't I love the song From a Distance. We're all people. It doesn't matter what faith we are, it doesn't matter what color we are, it doesn't matter what country we're from. We're all people that we need to love one another. So I hope that everybody remembers that throughout their day. I'm going to let everybody, share a few closing comments. And Randy, of course, we're going to come back and revisit that movie, Diving. What's the name of it?
The Diving Bell and the Butterfly.
Diving Bell and the Butterfly. I'm going to
Yeah.
watch it. We'll have you on in a few months. And Edwin and Evan, you're more than welcome to join us. Edwin, if you want to watch it as
I would
well.
love that. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll come back on and we'll talk about it, and we'll see where everybody is in their careers and their passions and their journey, because that's what it's about. It's about being on a wonderful journey. And when I see here with old dear friends like all three of you, I'm really happy that
thank you.
that we're still connected, and that we still get to just support each other on our journeys. That's what's really important.
Yeah.
So Randy, why don't you go first in your closing comments? Share where they could reach you as well, and your podcasts and stuff.
Sure. So my show is called Unger the Radar. Not Under, but Unger, my last name. So that's
Hunger.
Unger the Radar with a G, and you can catch me. All of my stuff is on YouTube. All of my episodes since I've been working with Evan and beyond. And you could also check out my new episodes wherever you can listen to podcasts, and also on radio through Slam Radio through SiriusXM, channel 145. You can catch me on social media under the radar. All of my information is there. I'm also hoping to branch out into to do my podcast live at venues like bars. So I'm still in the process of locking down a venue to do my show live. All of you are invited to that if I get that off the ground. But yeah, Under the Radar, that's my show. It's my baby. So check it out.
Yes,
I'm
and
writing, I'm
we're
writing
happy.
it down.
Yeah.
Hunger.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
of course. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe what we could do online, if it's possible, we can try to share with each other, the info when we're putting this show out. Just put everything out there,
I
in the
will
post. This way we can
share it.
share with everyone else.
Yep. Yep. And when I do the
Promote each
rewind,
other's
I'll
work.
make sure it's in the information section for everybody. So,
Right.
Evan, you want to go next to share, closing?
Sure. Check out my new book, Grindhouse, Art House, and Wrestling Flicks. Hundreds of mini film reviews that will turn you on to some great films and some not so great films, the Grindhouse films, but they're fun. And Edwin, I don't know if you know this, but in my new book, I have a review for Brownsville Bread in there also.
Oh, I gotta check that out. Yeah.
Nice.
And my previous book, Wrestling Rings, Blackboards, and Movie Sets, 100 plus stories, vignettes about teaching, the film industry, the wrestling business, etc., so on. And we're on a podcast called Wrestling and Everything Coast to Coast. And the everything is because it's not just wrestling. We had on somebody the other week. He runs the Cyndi Lauper Museum. I didn't even know it
Wow. I
existed.
didn't even know
Wow,
there
there's
was
a
Yeah,
one.
museum,
yeah,
Cyndi Lauper
in
Museum.
California.
Wow.
Yeah, I met and
Well, that's
interviewed
good.
her years ago. She's super nice, very down to earth.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
seems
yeah,
to be.
very approachable. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I basically plan to continue to make movies and write books and teach as long as I
Yeah.
can. We did a documentary, 350 Days, about the wrestling industry, et cetera, so on. And I thank everybody for their support and friendship. And this has been a fun show today. Thanks for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm happy you guys all hopped on to the show,
Yeah.
So Edwin, why don't you share your closing thoughts and
Sure,
comments,
sure.
where they can reach
Real,
out to you as well?
sure. Real quick, I just want to throw in there, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Evan, my dream is your short stories that I just love, to see, like, the way Crash, the movie Crash, that had little, like, three movies in it or something.
Yeah,
They were longer, but you're to see your work, like, in a movie like that, the little short stories.
yeah.
I think that would just work so well. It's something that I just see happening, because they're beautiful stories, man.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate it. Yeah,
yeah,
I'd love that too. At some point, I'll try to turn it into a screenplay.
yeah. They're moving, man. They're moving.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, they're
And,
moving stories.
and before you continue, Edwin, Evan, when we come back on for the review of the movie, why don't you bring some of your stories so that you could share them? Can you do that? Can you share some of your stories that you wrote?
Sure,
And you can
sure.
read them you can experience them together?
One of the stories, I'll make this very brief. My mother had seen all the greatest musicians ever, down to Charlie Parker, and. So my mom loved Edwin's music. And after she passed, Edwin sang at her unveiling at the cemetery.
Mm,
That's one of the stories in the book. Yeah.
mm,
So,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah. We're
Wow.
we're all, we're all connected here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Your
Edwin?
mom, yeah.
And
I still have.
Edwin's mom's a great artist. She's a musician herself.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I recorded one of her songs. It's Madre Querida, that she wrote. I surprised her during the pandemic. I recorded it on iTunes, and then because we were closed off, I sang it to her from outside the street, and I had it recorded on Facebook. I went live, and
Wow.
there she was looking out the window, and me singing her own song, and letting her know that it's now, online. It can be bought. But well, I want to just invite everyone to please support the movie, support my music. I'm a singer-songwriter, and it's so important to me to communicate so many of my songs to everyone because I write them with all of my heart, and I do care about what needs to be addressed emotionally, psychologically, historically. I try to use everything I can in my songwriting, philosophically, try to uh, communicate unity, love, and reality. So as a songwriter, that's what I aspire to be recognized. Semilla de Fe is maybe the first step. The fact that it was sung fully in the movie, that one song gave me a lot of hope as far as accomplishing that. And so I hope to get recognized as a singer-songwriter, a singer as well, but as a songwriter. Uh, So I ask everyone to just check out the movie Brownsville Bred. You can see it on. It was eligible for the 2026 Oscar to the song "Semilla de Fe," and the
Wow.
music and everything. So it's up to everyone watching. As far as all of us here, you know, we rely on your support. You're the power, behind this. So if you can just stand behind us, and we're here for that reason because we're trying to convey how important it is to us to bring this to you and to connect with you. So if you can share this show and share our cause here, what we're doing individually, we deeply appreciate it. The music, the movies on Prime TV, Prime Video, Paramount Plus, um,
Apple Plus.
on
Apple TV.
yeah, on demand. So you can check out the movie. It's also a music video now with Rihanna Page, who's so incredibly talented. Such an honor. Eddie Fente's wife. And
DVD and Blu-ray.
yeah, DVD and Blu-ray. And you can buy the theme track of the song, which is Semi Fe. And check out my music because there's a lot of new stuff coming out. Uh, 3 tracks, Zouk track 7. I'm doing some Zouk tracks with my buddy Brandley Medwin, amazing producer, and I'm also releasing some of my own my other songs that I've written, and I hope that you know, I hope that I can connect with everyone and that come out and see the shows. See me on Edwin Vasquez Musica, Vasquez VAZQUEZ. And you can check out me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the fun stuff, you know.
Mhm.
So thank
Thank
you,
you.
Renee,
Thank you.
for having us, and thank you guys.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for inspiring me to, keep my vision for my movie and for my writings. And, it's hard, but it's an incredible journey to try to make sure that I stay tapped into that and to, and complete it. Complete it. That's the end goal, is to get it done. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me today. I'm dear friends. I'm honored to have you, and happy that Madhouse TV, Tommy and Janine, and Jim all kept us connected, and we're still connected. Thank you so much. I'm going to close out on the show. Sometimes I forget we're on Facebook, YouTube Live, and we're streaming around the world because we get so enthralled with talking to each other and just connecting and just sharing our visions and our journeys, and but we are. So I have to say goodbye to everybody. Have a wonderful Sunday. Have a stroke of luck in your life. And on 3, we always blow our kisses. And before we go, I do want to tap into what Evan and what brought to our attention. Just be love and spread love and be kind to one another. Love is more powerful than hate. Love is the most powerful thing in the world. And we have to trust and have hope in that. So thank you so much, everybody. On three, we always blow our kisses if you feel comfortable. 1, 2, 3. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Have a stroke of luck in your life. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.